sports news. It was a close call for the Super Eagles of Nigeria on Monday, who are now, by the way, through to the round of 16 at the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire in what was the three-time African champions' 100th match in the history of AFCON. A first-half Opa Sangate own goal gave Nigeria a 1-0 win over Guinea-Bissau. Sangate emphatically turned a Moses Simon cross into his own net in the 36th minute after feeling compelled to intervene with Victor Osimhen lurking behind him. The result means the Super Eagles qualify in second place in Group A with 7 points behind Equatorial Guinea. And now, my colleague Kadi joins me for some of your own reactions to the big stories. And Jeffrey, they join me right now. What for you was the most thrilling part of that encounter with the Wild Dogs of Guinea-Bissau?
So I have an idea, guys.
Yeah.
That match was a very tricky one.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's one thing to watch it from your home, from the comfort of your home, even though that's a bit tricky. But it's another thing to be right there in the auditorium on the sidelines watching that match. So let's get like live reactions from someone who's been monitoring that match, who's been covering that match. We spoke with him a couple of days ago, and we have him back on the show. So join us, Sulaiman Adebayo. You all know him as Pooja. He's live in Cote d'Ivoire. He's a sports journalist. Has been covering lots of games right there in that AFCON holding in Cote d'Ivoire. Good morning, Pooja. It's good to see you with your iconic tint. Now, Pooja, talk to me. I see it is dark there. This is unusual. Last time we had you was well lit, but there's shadow behind you. It's really dark. I hear reports about, what, power cuts in Cote d'Ivoire. What's going on?
Good morning, guys. It's real. There's power outage in Cote d'Ivoire. Maybe it's a coincidence, I don't know, but of course, they lost yesterday, in a very bad way against Equatorial Guinea. 4-0 it ended, and this is the first time in a long time, or since we've been here, that there will be allowed a power outage for the past 5-6 hours. The last time we had a power outage lasted for like 2 minutes, but this time around, maybe because of the loss, it was crazy yesterday in Cote d'Ivoire. Journalists that went to Bimpe, yesterday had lots of issues with the fans, destroying buses, hostility in the city of Abidjan, and waking up this morning seeing that they've not been lights for the past 5 to 6 hours. Maybe it's a coincidence, but of course, they lost yesterday, and it hasn't been that good since we got to Cote d'Ivoire.
So I'm just wondering, but are you guys safe? That's the first question. Are you safe? Are the journalists safe? Are the players safe? Is there sufficient security? Because I understand everybody's passionate about this game, and this loss is a huge one. But talk about the safety situation besides the light.
Okay, I would say journalists are safe. Yesterday was actually very crazy as well. Where I watched my own game at the Felix Stadium yesterday, we had our game before the Egypt game against Cape Verde, and it was aired on phone that Ghana didn't qualify. So the Egyptians were all over the place. The Ghanaians were looking for their players. The journalists, the Ghanaian journalists were looking for their players as well. So it was a very, very tense atmosphere yesterday. We had buses, provided by CAF to convey journalists. And we had securities, that actually, guide journalists to the media center. So for the journalists, they destroyed buses, which, of course, like I said, from a Bimpe, where they could have played their own match. But for us in Stade Olympiaco in Felix Stadium in Abidjan, we had our own fear of little violence as well. But of course, there were securities on ground. There were more securities from CAF as well. Because yesterday we had 2 tense games, Ghana, crashing out of AFCON, and of course the host country, Cote d'Ivoire, losing 4-0 to Equatorial Guinea.
Yeah, indeed, Pooja, was a shattering defeat for the host nation. But talk to us about the reactions trailing that own goal by Sangate of Guinea-Bissau. Yes, indeed, there was a spirit of sportsmanship from his colleagues on the field. But tell us about what happened beyond the field after the match.
Okay, Guinea-Bissau, remember they defeated us in the last time we met at AFCON qualifier here in Lagos there. But yesterday was not really a big one for them. They were just playing for pride. They're playing for their own prestige. For the Super Eagles, they knew fully well that even a draw to get them through to the knockout phase, talking about the last round of 16. So it was very calm after the game. It was all congratulations, all good news because Nigeria qualified, and of course they know themselves that there's nothing they could do, But on the flip side, for Nigeria, it was our 100th game in AFCON. It was a good win after all, and we are in the competition unbeaten, still unbeaten in the competition. So it was a good fanfare at the mix zone yesterday. Players waited to speak to journalists, and it wasn't that tense on our own part, but on the part of the Ghanaians, it was journalists fighting their coaches, fighting their players, exchanges between coaches, journalists and players. So it was crazy, but for our own, it was just cool because at the end of the day, we qualified with 1 or 6.
We survived.
Oh dear. That's never good to see, but it's a very emotional game. Sometimes people allow the emotions get the best of them. But Pooja, we have to break down yesterday's match.
Exactly.
We really need to understand what happened yesterday. I mean, we defeated Cote d'Ivoire, and a lot of people thought if we can defeat host nation, then maybe Guinea-Bissau, we should do better, capitalize on that. But what we saw yesterday was a bit underwhelming. And I mean, we love our Super Eagles, absolutely. In fact, people accuse us of being too nice to them. But what really played out yesterday? You spoke to the players. Did they tell you maybe they had challenges on the pitch? Because we didn't see that kind of fluid play, that creativity
that we saw in the last match. We expect them to build on it, but not what we saw. Pooja.
I think we have to understand that we played against we played another kind of formation yesterday, which of course was 4-2-4, and we saw that the new personnel that came into the fold. Emero started his first game yesterday. Bright Osai started his first game yesterday. Aribo started his first game yesterday, and we had new personnel in the team, and it was very difficult for these guys to adapt. Yesterday we were talking to Kevin Bassi, at the mix zone. I was saying, I'm a defender. You have to talk to the strikers why they fail to score goals and why they fail to convert chances. I know fully well that in the last game we didn't create so much, but against Guinea-Bissau and Equatorial Guinea, we've created enough chances to get more than 1 goal. So if Kabibasi is coming out to say we need to ask the strikers why they fail to score goals, that's a big indictment on the coach and as well as the attacking lineup of the Super Eagles. But I must confess to you, is another setup yesterday against Guinea-Bissau, new personnel into the fold, and of course, Victor Osimhen have not been that, that level in terms of what he did last season with Napoli. So all in all, it still boils down to formation-wise and not converting our chances.
Pooja, you mentioned it, so let's dwell on it for a bit. From the beginning, a lot of people have had problem with our finishing. It's not as clinical as we expect it to be, whether it's minimal chances created or a lot of chances created. Now, we can't afford that in the knockout stage. We don't have the luxury of permutation. Okay, if we win this, we add this, we're going to qualify. It's knockout. That's what it's called. So what do you think that they can do differently? One of the things I also observe is the fact that, is it volley we call it now, when the ball is floating mid-air, to be able to bring it down and deliver the goods, it's quite difficult for most of these players who are supposed to be, front men to finish. So what do we do to fix our finishing to be a bit more clinical? We can't afford to continue to miss chances.
It's very strange, coming to this particular AFCON, we have the best attacking lineup in the history of AFCON, I must confess to you. We have likes of Chikwueze, Lookman, Moses, Victor Osimhen, who of course is the CAF Award winner. And we even have Telemorphy. So there's lots of attacking options for the coach. But unfortunately, we've not been converting chances. Chikwueze played, started the game yesterday as well. Couldn't convert. Victor Moses couldn't convert. Osimhen have got 1 goal in 3 matches. Remember, he's the highest goal scorer from AFCON qualifier, so we expected that he's going to, start scoring goals for the Super Eagles. We have Lookman, who have been scoring a lot of goals for Atalanta, but right here in AFCON, he has not gotten even maybe like 2-3 shots on target. Not talking about goals. So we need to be clinical, like you said. It's 90 minutes. It's the knockout phase. If you fail to win in 90 minutes, you're out. You're back to your country. So I think what the players understood what was going on. Remember what I said at the mixed zone. Kabibas was talking about how the strikers have not been converting chances. So if they know what is going on within the team, if they know that they have failed to do something, in front of goal, maybe the coach will address it in the training session. We are yet to see them. Maybe today by 4 p.m. we see them during the recovery session. We are playing on Saturday, so that we have enough time to we have enough time to address that conversation about not getting chances. So we have 4 days to train, 4 days to address this cacaworm in the Super Eagles, and hopefully we get our scoring boots in the knockout phases.
Speaking of addressing some of the things that happened, we saw the ball, Osimhen net the ball into the net a number of times. Talk to us about some of those VAR decisions. How did they play out for you, Pooja?
It's a crazy atmosphere, for goals, for Osimhen, it's fighting, it's a big pressure on him, last year was a big season for him. He won a lot of awards, won the Scudetto after 23 years, won the Calvin Award after 4 years after Wako Kano. So he wants to impress. So I think the eagerness, his runnings sometimes are untimely. His runnings are very, very fast, even more than the defender. So it makes him, get behind the striker and behind the defenders and get, offside. So there are offside calls, and for him as well, he runs to the referee, wants to get the goals so that, the pressure will calm down. He couldn't take the penalty against Ivory Coast because of the pressure. So like I said, we have 4 days to address this, anxiety, this not scoring of goals. And for Osimhen, of course, the coach, like I said, the coach spoke to him in the first recovery session after the Ivory Coast match. Right. So he saw the eagerness in him. So hopefully we see more of Osimhen in the knockout phases.
Well, Pooja, thank you so much. Please stay safe. The power outage, we understand. 5-6 hours now in Cote d'Ivoire.
And mind where you go.
Are listening.
And mind where you go.
We're watching to see what's going on, and we expect that these people will be safe. They're doing their jobs, and they're ensuring that this game, this beautiful game of football, is being put out there. So thank you so much, Suleiman Adebayo, Pooja. But let's take a look at what you were saying on X and across other social media platforms quickly. Take a look at Big Love, Big Hot Baby One says, Super Eagles, wake up, oh. Yeah, wake up. It is morning. But thank God we don't qualify. And then you see Up Niger. We still love our Super Eagles, but of course, we expect more.
All right, it's coming from Ibuku Luko. He says, one positive going into the knockout stages for the Super Eagles is that they know they are not invincible. There's a lot to be done going forward and no overconfidence. This is a blessing in disguise for us. And the trophy is coming home. Okay.
Amen.
Okay.
We'll take that.
We'll take that.
And this one is coming from Olade for you. So this Super Eagles team cannot beat Guinea-Bissau without own goal. Equatorial Guinea beating Cote d'Ivoire shows we can't top the group and not fit enough to win the AFCON 2023 trophy, except Osimhen, Iheanacho and Ahmed Musa perform wonders. Didier Drogba retired with the glory of Ivory Coast. So sad.
That's some deep speak from Olade for you. We go philosophical when it comes to football, so you can understand that one. Victoria Shitu says we may have qualified for the AFCON round of 16, but these Super Eagles are not super. But yeah, I get it. They have been woeful. Imagine beating Guinea-Bissau via an own goal and then goes on.
So what happened? Are we recanting now? There was so much praise for the Super Eagles when we defeated Cote d'Ivoire.
It's per game. When we see how they perform per game. But let's move on now. Deleke Idris says that my biggest fear now, what if either Senegal or Algeria comes our way? Are we capable of holding them or move forward and move further rather? And that our keeper, I guess, wanted to say, I never see anything competent in him. Wow, that's I don't know. But always trying to blame and asking the defense to cover up from short.
I thought Nwabali was.
It's been fantastic.
Well,
it's been doing great.
About the confidence it brings to the team.
Yeah, to be very fair.
Sometimes as a goalkeeper, you need to actually put your defenders under pressure.
Yes, but to be very fair to him,
and to be fair to the Super Eagles, they really put on their A game in the second half of the match. They came with that second half came with a bite that was not seen in the first half. Perhaps if those goals, if those opportunities had been converted into goals, Eagles, our conversation this morning would be different.
I think one of the things that people may be proposing is to lessen the pressure on Osimhen, maybe use him as a decoy, because a lot of the time he's under pressure himself. He's the biggest player on the continent. Everybody expects him to score goals. He's a point man player. Sometimes he gets frustrated, he wants to come back. So all of that. Let's get the next.
And the inclusion of Iwobi, during the second match, second half, also made some difference. And we're hoping that he would get some goals. But there's another opportunity. This one is from Monkals. Honestly, this is a disappointing outing for the Super Eagles. Zero creativity in the midfield. Very uninspiring attack. Bali, Olaino, and Calvin Bassi are the only players showing they came to compete in a tournament. It's a really shameful situation. Be kind, please. Be kind.